Hello, hello, hello! Ho, ho, ho! And Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to everyone who celebrates. My name is Stephanie Moran, and I am officially back to reading you and your kids special stories. Now, today is Christmas Eve, and to celebrate Christmas, I will be reading a couple of Christmas-themed stories. And I will also be doing a little bit of catch up with all of the missed stories that I've read. So, I have a specific lineup here, and the first one is a Christmas story that I'm pretty sure none of you might have heard of. This one is called Olive the Other Reindeer. And look at this little doggie. This little doggie has a big dream. She wants to be one of Santa's very special reindeer. But she's a dog. What can a dog do that a reindeer can't? Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see. This is Olive the Other Reindeer. And you can see there's a little penguin on top of a mountain there. And little Olive looking down. Isn't she cute? Olive the Other Reindeer by Vivian Walsh and J. Otto Seibold, and illustrated by J. Otto Seibold. I like the illustrations. They're really cute. Every day, Olive took her daily dog walk. Winter, spring, summer, or fall. Today was a winter's day. It was the holidays. There was music playing outdoors. People were singing along. Olive the Other Reindeer. Olive was too shy to sing. She hummed. This is like a very metropolitan area here. And here's Olive. And here's Olive. He's humming along to the song. Back at her doghouse, Olive was wrapping presents and listening to the radio. She heard that same song again. Olive the Other Reindeer, went the song. Olive the Other Reindeer. Olive sang along. Olive the reindeer, said Olive. I thought I was a dog. I must be a reindeer. It was the time of year when all reindeer reported to the North Pole to help Santa Claus. Olive put down her scissors carefully and marched out the door. Ooh, silly dog. She thinks she's a reindeer. I wonder what she's going to do with that information. What do you think she wants to do? Do you think she wants to be one of Santa's reindeer? Because she thinks she's a reindeer? Let's find out. She took one bus, and then 2 buses. Can you see Olive in there? She's in the back on the first bus. She's in the back of the first bus there. She's traveling to the North Pole. And there's the little penguin. Poor little guy's lost. Penguins don't live at the North Pole. They live in the South Pole. And there's little Olive in the back of that Polar Express vehicle there. She looks so happy. She got there just in time. Santa was checking his list for the second time. Elves were busy helping the reindeer and loading the sleigh with presents for all the good girls and boys. Everyone was getting ready to go. Until the little dog shows up, who thinks she's a reindeer. See that? That's Santa. He's checking his list. He made his list, and he's checking it twice. here are some elves. There was one reindeer in the back just chilling with hot cocoa. I wish that was me, because it's really cold. It's really cold where I am. Wonder how all these reindeer are going to react to the little dog. Olive took her place. Santa noticed that there was a little dog in the lineup. Santa knew a lot about dogs. For instance, they can't fly. But as it was time to go, he decided to give Olive a chance. Comet, the biggest reindeer, used a piece of extra ribbon to make sure Olive was tied in safe and tight. Now they were ready to go. So, looks like the reindeer took to Olive very well. Might have been a little shocked at first, but that's Comet. Making sure she's all wrapped up nice and tight so she doesn't fall off and get killed. Olive was surprised. It was so easy to fly. And there she is. Below a couple of reindeer here. Look at her go. Looks like she's very happy to be there. The other reindeer were very curious about their new helper. They looked at Olive so much, they weren't watching where they were going. Oh no! Looks like these reindeer are very curious. Wonder what's gonna happen. They gonna crash? Well, at least they're not being aggressive with her. Crash! They flew smack into the top of a too-tall tree.
Oh dear,
said Santa.
my sleigh is stuck in this tree. I'll have to cut it free.
Olive clung to the side of the tree. She tried to fly up to help Santa, but she could not. She climbed up slowly and started chewing. Chewing sticks was something Olive could do well.
Thank you, Olive,
said Santa Claus as they got back on their way. All these reindeer and Olive. Poor girl. She got stuck in the tree. It's a good thing she was able to help them out, though. What would you think? Do you think Olive is being very helpful so far? I think so. They had not traveled far from when Olive's nose began to twitch. Olive smelled trouble. It was the smell of gumdrop candies as they fell from the sleigh. Drop, drop, drop. Olive barked, and Santa knew what to do. He steered the reindeer down and around so that all the gumdrops fell, blop, 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 back into the toy sack. It's raining gumdrops. I bet you would like it if it rained gumdrops all the time. Sugar for days. It's a good thing Santa caught them all in his toy sack. So he can give it to good girls and boys. We can all share, right? We were very lucky not to lose a single gumdrop, thought Olive. Then she heard a strange sound. It was the musical note. She spun around on her string to see the night sky filled with falling flutes. Olive had to howl louder than the wind instruments. This was not music to Santa's ears.
First gumdrops and now flutes, thought Santa. That tree must have torn a hole in my sleigh. Prepare for an emergency landing, Santa instructed.
Those flutes might not sound too good right now, especially when you're trying to sleep. The sleigh landed in a snowy field full of flutes. Luckily, Olive was very good at fetching sticks, It is something dogs love to do. Before Santa had finished patching a hole in the sleigh, Olive had returned each and every flute back to the sack.
Ho, 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 said Santa. We're ready to go.
Look at Olive being very helpful. She must be a very nice dog, wouldn't you agree?
They were running late, but after a while, all the good children received their presents, and Santa and his team headed home.
It's nice that they cared about the other children, even though they were running late. Olive was very helpful, I guess, to Santa.
They were almost home when they got caught in the dreaded North Pole fog. The reindeer slowed down until it was only the breeze that moved them along. The fog was as thick as a pillow. It made everyone feel sleepy. Then Santa remembered something about dogs. They are expert smellers. Olive, I'd hate to be late for breakfast this year, he said. Mrs. Claus has planned a parade of cookies. You can almost smell them, can't you? Olive could smell the cookies. Olive, won't you guide my sleigh this morning? Asked Santa. Olive moved to the front of the reindeer.
I bet you'd like it if you had cookies for breakfast Christmas morning. We get to eat French toast.
Thanks to Olive's nose and Mrs. Claus's baking, they made it all the way back to the North Pole. All of the elves sang out a cheer. Hooray! Hooray! Santa and the reindeer and the little doggie are back.
Yay! They made it back to the North Pole. Guess Olive was very useful. She really helped Santa make it through another year this year.
Back at the North Pole, it was a glorious morning. After eating lots of good food, it was time to open presents. The reindeer got jump ropes and the elves got toy trains. Santa reached into his toy sack. There was just one present left. It was for Olive. It was her very own set of reindeer antlers. They fit perfectly. Then everyone went outside to play reindeer games. And that is the end of Olive the Other Reindeer. I hope you loved this story. If your parents can find it on Amazon, have them look for Olive the Other Reindeer. But it was made into a made-for-TV movie on Cartoon Network. I'm sure you can find it online if you look for it on Dailymotion or YouTube or some other place, but I highly recommend reading Olive the Other Reindeer to you or your children if you are a parent watching this. I also have another friend who likes to celebrate Christmas this year. It's my pigeon friends, the pigeon. Hello. Now, the pigeon has flown very long distances during his trip south, but he'd made it up north just in time for Christmas. So, what was your favorite thing to do on your trip south? It was wonderful. I went on a I had a fantastic time down south. The air was so much warmer. It was so much cleaner. I get to roost up on the top of the telephone wire anytime I want. It was so wonderful. But I do miss being back home. But I did manage to try something new. And what was that? Well, I rode on a roller coaster. And this is exactly what happens in The Pigeon Will Ride the Roller Coaster.
This is a new book in the Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus series. A series which includes all of these books on the back. They are written and illustrated by Mo Willems. Aww, look at Pigeon. Looks like he's having a fun time. Joy! Today's the day! The pigeon will ride the roller coaster! Oh, roller coasters! I have been a quiver with anticipation ever since I first heard about them. Sounds like Pigeon wants to ride a roller coaster. I have been a quiver with anticipation ever since I first heard about them 10 minutes ago. Riding will not be easy. Is that so? I will need a ticket. But I will have a ticket. Yeah, you're gonna need a ticket to get on the roller coaster. There will be a line. Ooh, more birds. I actually like the bird designs here. Got a little goose. Got a little penguin here. Oh, look! There's the little duckling. There's a little puffin here. And I think that's a stork. You can never really tell with Mo. There will be a line. But I will demonstrate exemplary patience. The question is, not will I be ready for the roller coaster, but will it be ready for me? I can see it in all of its roller coastery glory. It's just a hill going up and down. But I'm sure the pigeon will like it anyway. Oh, but what's this? It doesn't just go up and down. It goes in loop-de-loops. Oh, those sound like a lot of fun. Ooh. You getting sick there, Pigeon? It will be so awesome. Sure, when it is over, I'm going to feel a lot of things. I will be excited because it was thrilling. I will feel sad because it's over. I will feel proud because I did it. I will feel dizzy because it is a roller coaster. Will I be ready to go do it again? You bet. Phew. I amaze myself. What am I waiting for? The time is now. Go on. Go on, Pigeon. This pigeon will ride the roller coaster. A line. Just as I expected. Wait. Wait. My turn. Ticket. Here. Here I go. What's gonna happen? Is it gonna be a loop-de-loop? Or do you think it's gonna be something else?
got to be kidding me. Again?
You bet! Oh, Pigeon, you get excited over the silliest of things.
They say the same about you.
You're my hero, little buddy. Alright, so these next few stories will be a sort of catch-up because it is my 365 Disney stories. As you can see, there are still a lot of stories for me to read to you, and a bunch of them are Christmas themed, so I want to read them to you. The first one is a Peter Pan story with Captain Hook and Smee. This is the original Peter Pan, the one with the Native Americans. It says, its title is, We're Going on a Picnic. Kitten? Mr. Smee knocked softly on Captain Hook's door. There was no answer. The chubby first mate pushed his way inside, carrying a breakfast tray.
I've got breakfast, Captain. I'm not hungry, Captain Hook replied. Go away.
But Captain, you have to eat. Smee was getting worried. The captain hadn't eaten in days. In fact, he hadn't even gotten out of bed. I know you feel bad about Since he stopped himself, Smee stopped himself from saying the dreaded name just in time. That flying boy. And a that ticking reptile, too. Captain Hook was really angry about being beaten by Peter again. Even worse, Peter had set the crocodile right back on Captain Hook's trail. We haven't seen hide or snake nor scale of either of them for a week. I think the coast is clear. There was no reply from Captain Hook. Smee thought for a minute. I know what'll cheer you up, he cried. We'll have a nice old-fashioned picnic. Won't that be lovely? Again, silence from Captain Hook. No arguments. Smee left the breakfast tray and hurried down to the galley. A picnic on Mermaid Island was just what the doctor ordered. When the picnic basket was placed, Smee called down to Hook. It's time to go, Captain! After a while, Captain Hook finally appeared on the deck, blinking in the sunlight.
Fine, he said grumpily, but I know I'm not going to have fun.
Smee let the rowboat down into the water. Hook began to climb down the rope ladder. Once he was safely in the boat, Smee picked up the picnic basket.
Smee! cried Hook. Help me!
Smee peeked over the side of the ship. The crocodile was about to take a bite out of the rowboat. In a panic, he threw the only thing he had on hand. The picnic basket. It landed right in the crocodile's open mouth. The crocodile stared at Smee in surprise. Then, without a sound, it slipped back under the water. Next time you have any
smart ideas about cheering me up,
said the captain, glaring at his first mate,
keep them to yourself.
Oh, Captain Hook, never change. All right, this next Disney story is a story from the original Lady and the Tramp. Now, this one got a live-action remake that is on Disney Plus that no one ever seems to want to talk about. So I want to introduce you to Lady and the Tramp with this story called Don't Mock Jock. Aunt Sarah was visiting, and she had brought her cats, Cy and Am, with her. Before long, Cy and Am had found the doggy door that led out to the garden. What works for doggies works for kitties, too, hissed Cy. They slunk out into the garden and found a small hole in the garden fence. They poked their heads through the hole and spied Jock snoozing by his doghouse. Time for a wake-up call? Asked Am. Cy smiled and nodded. They squirmed through the hole and stole silently across the yard until they were sitting on either side of the sleeping Jock. Then at the same moment, they let loose a shrill, ear-splitting meow. Jock awoke with a start. By the time he had identified the culprits, Cy and Am were halfway across the lawn, heading for the fence. Jock tore after them, but the cats squirmed through the small hole and out of Jock's reach. The opening was too small for Jock.
He had to be content with sticking his head through and barking at the cats as they strolled casually up the back steps of Lady's house and through the doggy door. Then they collapsed in a laughing fit on the kitchen floor. Dogs are so dim-witted, sighed Cackle. They waited a while, then crept out through the doggy door again, itching to try their trick a second time. Peeking through the hole in the fence, Am and Cy spied Jock sleeping in front of his doghouse again. But this time, Jock was ready for them. When the cats got within 5 feet of him, the feisty Scotty leaped to his feet and growled. Arrgh! The cats gave a start, wheeled around, and raced for the fence, only to find the way blocked by Jock's friend, Trusty the Bloodhound, who stood, growling between the cats and the hole. Jock and Trusty chased Cy and Am around Jock's garden until Jock was confident that they had learned their lesson. Then they allowed the cats to retreat through the hole in the fence. This time, Cy and Am didn't stop running until they were through the doggy door safely inside. And inside is where they stayed. Those darn cats. They never learn. Our next one takes us to... Fox and the Hound. Now, I've never actually seen this one, but I know it's a staple of many people's childhoods when they think of Disney. It was one of I think one of the last Disney films that was considered in its dark age before the Disney Renaissance came in and basically set the standard for Disney films as we know it today, with the recent release of Wish. Now, this film in particular was released in the 80s, so yes, it might have been the tail end of the Dark Ages and into the resurgence of the Renaissance. I personally have never seen Fox and the Hound, but I hope to watch it someday. And I hope that this story, a party of 3, will help me get started, so let's begin. Widow Tweed hummed cheerfully as she decorated her cottage. Todd, the little fox she had adopted not long before, watched with excitement. This was his first birthday in his new home. Now, Todd, said the widow, who shall we invite to your party? Todd jumped on the windowsill and looked over at Amos Slade's farm. Then he jumped on the kindly woman's lap and gazed up at her with big, sad eyes. Oh, Todd, stop looking at me like that. Well, all right. You can ask Copper over just this once. Later that afternoon, Todd invited Copper to the party. I'm not supposed to leave the yard, Copper explained. I'll get in trouble with my master. Don't worry, Todd said. I've got it all figured out. Then Todd headed over to Amos Slade's chicken yard. He ran among the birds, causing them to flap their wings and cluck in panic. That was Copper's signal to bark as loudly as he could. Slade burst out of the cabin just in time to see Copper chasing Todd into the woods. Copper followed Todd all the way back to Widow Tweed's back door. Quick, scoot, she said, shooing the two into the cottage. While Miss Slade wandered around for the woods trying to find Todd and Copper, the party festivities at Widow Tweed's were beginning. The 3 played hide-and-seek, pin the tail on the donkey, and freeze tag. Then it was time to cut the cake. As everyone had seconds, the widow spied Amos Slade coming out of the woods. She let Copper out the back door, where he stood, barking ferociously. Good tracking, Copper, Slade cried. Did you chase that no-good fox all the way through the woods? Copper wagged his tail. Copper, the man said, what's that in your face? The hound turned his head and quickly licked cake crumbs off his muzzle. Said Slade. Guess I must be seeing things. Let's go, then. Let's go on, then, boy. Inside the cozy cottage, Todd smiled. It had been a wonderful birthday, and sharing it with his best friend had definitely been icing on the cake. Aw, that was so sweet. Now, the last 2, or the last one, I think is a Christmas-themed story. And, it's the Aristocats. Now, I managed to see this one as I was watching Disney Plus, and I think it's a really cute movie. It's a cute, fun movie. Fun movie if you ignore all the racial stereotypes. It's a cute, fun movie about cats. And I like cats, personally.
just as much as dogs. So let's talk about the best kitty sitter. Duchess and O'Malley had planned a lovely dinner at Paris's finest restaurant. O'Malley had even found a kitty sitter for Duchess's kittens. His friend Scat Cat had offered to watch them for the night. Duchess and O'Malley told Toulouse, Marie, and Berlioz to behave for Scat Cat. After they left, Scat Cat turned to the kittens.
"Listen up, cool cats," he said. "I'm not the regular kitty sitter, so this isn't going to be a regular kitty sitting evening. Got it?"
Yeah, they all shouted. Scat Cat had 3 instruments with him, an upright bass, a trumpet, and a small piano.
"Gather around, you cool cats. We're making music,"
Scat Cat exclaimed. He showed Toulouse where to put his fingers on the bass. Next he gave Marie the trumpet and put Berlioz on the piano. Together they jammed for over an hour, having a grand old time.
"Okay, let's go,"
Scat Cat said. Go where? Marie asked.
"We've got a gig and we don't want to be late," Scat Cat said. "You 3 cats are going to perform, dig it?"
Scat Cat led the three down the block to a club where they had signed them up for the weekly open mic jazz show. I don't think we can perform tonight, Berlioz said, shaking his head. We're not very good. Scat Cat looked at the 3 kittens.
"You have to play from here," he said, pointing to his heart. "You all have soul. You can't teach that. If you miss a note, just keep playing. Feel the vibe."
The kittens smiled. All right, they said. Let's jam. As they strutted on stage, the familiar faces of Duchess and O'Malley greeted them from the crowd. They had been about to return home from their evening when they saw Scat Cat leading the trio into the club.
"A 1 and a 2 and a 3,
Scat Cat counted, and they began to play. Throughout the club, heads bopped and paws tapped. The crowd was mesmerized.
"This is the best jazz group I've ever seen,"
O'Malley whispered to Duchess, and the happy couple sat back and let the music take over the night. That was really cute. Cute. Like I said, it's a story about kittens. You kind of have to, have to allow cute things here. Oh, dropped a bit there. And now, the last story is Mater Saves Christmas. And as you could probably tell, it's from Cars. Now, Cars was a Pixar film that I personally liked as a kid. I really love Tow Mater. And I can imitate Larry the Cable Guy's voice as you can tell from the story here. It's all about Mater saving Christmas from Chick Hicks. It's a really silly story, but I hope you enjoy it. Mater Saves Christmas. Yahoo! One morning, Mater arrived to Flo's Fiat Cafe with his letter to Santa car. That's Santa Claus for you young'uns. All the townsfolk had written one. Just as Mater was dropping his letter in the mailbox, Chick Hicks, one of Lightning's rivals, showed up. He began to tease Mater, saying that Santa car didn't exist. Just then, Sheriff raced up to them with some bad news. All the fuel from the area had been stolen. The townsfolk were shocked. Without fuel, the mail trucks couldn't deliver letters to Santa car. But Mater wouldn't give up. He decided to deliver the letters to the North Pole himself. Lightning was worried about his friend. He couldn't let him go alone.
"Mater, I'm coming with you," he said.
Luigi and Guido gave Mater and Lightning new snow tires, and the two set off. Finally, Lightning and Mater arrived at the North Pole. Lightning stared in wonder.
"Wow, Santa car is real," he said.
But Santa car had some bad news. His reindeer snowmobiles had been stolen. Just then, Mater remembered how strangely Chick had been acting. He realized that Chick wanted the top-secret flying fuel the reindeer used.
"Chick Hicks took your reindeer,"
he cried. Santa car filled Mater's tank with the top-secret fuel, and the 3 cars set out for Radiator Springs. Back in town, Luigi and Guido had been quartered by Chick and his gang.
"Ha! You're too late, boys,"
Chick shouted.
"I'll fly around the track and never lose to Lightning McQueen again. And you know the best part? No more presents. If I can't have presents, no one can. Ha 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 ha!"
Suddenly, the air filled with the sound of jingling bells. Mater soared over the hill, toward Lightning and Santa car. Chick raced away, flying just above the ground. Lightning flew after him. Santa car had filled his tank with the magic fuel, too. Chick was no match for Lightning McQueen. The thief soon spun out of control.
Go him straight to jail, said Doc. Later, the Radiator Springs gang celebrated with Santa Car and his reindeer snowmobiles. Everyone cheered. Mater had saved Christmas. Yay! So, I highly recommend you look for this. It might be outdated with some of the new films that are out now, but hey, it's got Frozen, it's got Fox and the Hound, it's got Cinderella, it's got a lot of underrated Disney films in here. So, give this one a look. Look if you want to find it on Amazon or your local bookstore. Or you can search for the original 365, which doesn't have Elsa or Anna or any of the new ones. Next, consider this part 1 of my Christmas reading extravaganza. Tomorrow we will be reading. I don't know what to call my cat, and we will be reading the quintessential Christmas story, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, from my 6x Seuss collection of books. See you later!